Welcome back here, RMU Century Media, live at the de Gaulle Arena for Robert Morris women's basketball here. As you saw, final score, Robert Morris taking their first conference loss of the season, falling 68-47 to the Red Flash of St. Francis. Tough loss there. Colonials came out battling. They were up early, 27-22 in that first half, but then Jessica Kovac came back. She had 32 points on the day. And guys, that's what I want to talk about first. Let's talk about Jessica Kovac's performance. I mean, what a second half from her especially.
What an incredible player she is. Obviously, as a junior, she still has a year left. A junior breaking the NEC career record for three-pointers. That's incredible. She is the definition of a sharpshooter, and the first half, she started off cold. Couldn't get her shot to fall, but once it started to fall, like they say, when it rains, it pours, and she flooded this gym.
And the thing is, in that first half, though, Shoei, what happened is Robert Morris played their style. They enforced their style on the Red Flash, not letting Jessica Kovac get the ball and not letting them get inside the paint. In the first half, they held Ace Williams and Jessica Kovac to a total of 14. At one point, that was the score. Kovac has 8 points and Ace Williams 6 points. That was the score. I think that's what Robert Morris enforced their style.
But you know, you do have to give a lot of credit, and people will talk about Kovac, but Ace Harrison really kept the Red Flash in that game. She had 8 of the first 14 points, and when Robert Morris went up 10-0, she came back 2 big steals, 2 big scores, really kept them in this one. Robert Morris had an opportunity early, because not only was the defense clicking, but the offense was clicking. They had an opportunity early to really get ahead, put this one away, and really force the Red Flash to come from behind. And the play of Harrison, not only on offense but on defense, to be very physical, very aggressive. I mean, just all over the floor, really allowed it so that there was less pressure on Kovac. She was able to come back, and the second half, as soon as Kovac hit that shot, she said it in the press conference. She was like, you know what? Let's keep this going. Let's see how long we can make this last. And she made it last the whole third quarter. 18 points, 6 3-pointers, unbelievable. And the Red Flash really set themselves up not only offensively but defensively.
Absolutely, the Colonials' shooting tonight was bad and I feel that's generous. They just couldn't get the ball to fall into the hoop. However, from the line tonight, fantastic. They shot very well. In the first half, they were 10 of 11 from the charity stripe, which was huge. That was over a third of their points coming from the line in the first half. And we saw in the third quarter, what happened was when the game started to shift, Robert Morris struggled to get to the line. They only got to the line one trip. I think it was Megan Callahan or Megan Smith. I can't remember which one. Made both their foul shots, but they were the only trip they had that whole quarter to the foul line.
And so here's the question, Greg, and I'm gonna send this one to you. Is your Charlie Biscaglia, again, very, very young team, a lot of freshmen. Going forward, you take that first conference loss, and a really big one, because what this does is this levels the playing field here. It's anyone's game to win the conference between these two teams. What is your mindset going into that next game on Monday?
Mindset is moving forward. You have to have a short-term memory in any sport you play, what level, whatever. So if I was Charlie Biscaglia, I would have to say, guys, it happened. We need to improve. We'll practice this week and see what we can do better next time. But it's over. Forget about it. You've learned your lessons, and we just got to keep pushing forward and keep pushing towards that NEC title like we always want to do this entire season.
Robert Morris, and again, the last thing we're going to talk about here was the big story for them was really another game for Hanoki Komatsu, where she really struggled against the Red Flash St. Francis. 7 turnovers in this one, the full court press, really a lot for her. How important is it that she kind of figures it out if Robert Morris wants to potentially, they're going to have to face the Red Flash in the NEC championship game. Is she going to be that key in order to beat the Red Flash?
I wouldn't even look forward that far to the NEC championship game, because these other teams in the NEC, they look at the film and they're going to see she struggles against the press and she's prone to turning the ball over. And in a close game, you can't turn the ball over. There's going to be close games from here on out, whether it's in the rest of conference play or in the NEC tournament. And turnovers are oftentimes the difference. Turnovers and foul shots, how many times have we seen it in big games decide the game, really? So my big concern is if it's getting down to a close game, and the other team just say, hey, she turns the ball over at time. We're going to press them and make them turn the ball over, and we'll just have to see how Robert Morris handles that.
All right, you saw it here, the final score from the de Gaulle Arena. St. Francis Red Flash 68, Robert Morris Colonials 47. That's all from us here at RMUCenturyMedia.com, giving you all the live updates. Stay tuned for a recap and analysis of today's game coming on RMUCenturyMedia.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you whenever we come back, whenever they bring us back for more women's basketball, men's basketball, any Robert Morris sports updates. This is Sam Anthony, Greg Sutton, and Mike Shuley for RMUCenturyMedia.com.